talent is the currency of business attraction, expansion, and creation today. It's what drives the large decisions big companies make about where to locate. It's what drives small companies to decide where they want to found their own company. And it isn't just keeping students here. Any students in the audience? That's not good. That's not good. Because if I were giving this talk in San Francisco, if I were giving this talk in London, all these seats would be filled, particularly since it was free, right? And there were bagels and coffee. With students who had come, not to hear me, probably to hear Jim, certainly to meet you. And so we need to be able to open that up, not just in our universities. How many of you are familiar with the FIRST program? Good, good. A few hands, not enough, but a few hands. Fostering interest, recognition in science and technology. Dean Kamen, the guy who invented the Segway, everybody's probably heard of the Segway, he decided he wanted to push that kind of talent so that you could have more Segways, right? So that you could have more talented engineers and scientists. So he created FIRST. You probably have heard of the Lego robotics competitions, right? That go all the way up through high school where these robots would take up this room and do interesting things like make baskets with balls. But this competition, the World Championships, is run like a Super Bowl or a Final Four. It is 30,000 people coming to cheer on. Last year, will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas was the leader of it. Taking pictures with all the teams, encouraging everybody. You're in this big arena. They're shooting baskets with the robots, and this is cool. It has the creativity, the teamwork, the motivation, the reward of sports, which is what you want, right? You want to reward kids in high school and middle school for the kinds of skills that you want to be able to hire them for. Does anybody know where the World Championships were last year? Know where they're going to be this year? So what are you doing to let those kids coming from all 50 states and 15 countries know where their future can be in St. Louis? Why should I be one of those winning teams and think I have to go be with NASA in Houston or Langley, Virginia, or I've got to go be with Google in Pittsburgh, or I've got to go be with Motorola in Chicago? Why can't I come and be here in St. Louis, right? A place that I thought was very, very cool when I was here that last time. How many of you have heard Project Lead the Way? Good. Project Lead the Way is a national program that teaches engineering and life science to middle and high school kids in their high schools. One of the 3 top states for Project Lead the Way is Missouri, standing next to Indiana and Virginia. There are 200 Project Lead the Way schools here in Missouri, 62 in the St. Louis region alone. I wonder how many of those kids know that Helix exists, or what's happening at T-Rex, or that CIC is coming. How do we capture these imaginations and bring them in? I'll give you one quick example. St. Louis Community College is out at the Danforth Center. They have a laboratory technician program that's there to teach, because if you're going to bring in more companies to be in that ecosystem, if you're going to get this next generation of Monsanto employees, it's great to get PhDs, but you're also going to need bench techs too. And so they learn the skills that are relative today in those labs. But there's an added benefit for those, and they get internships with the companies that are there in the Bridge Park. And the benefit for the companies is that now through my intern, I can have access to equipment that I might not be able to afford. And for the community college, it's a revenue stream. We run a similar program in Baltimore. Our cohort has been over 400, our total throughput's been over 400, every one of them guaranteed an internship at the Biopark in Baltimore, Maryland. We have a 100% placement rate after graduation. Those who do not go into companies, it's because they decided to walk across the street and pursue a 4-year degree at the University of Maryland. So how do you get that talent and get it off the sidelines? Particularly at that age, because if Chancellor Wrighton or Dean Quattrano were here from WashU, they would tell you that if you're not interested in engineering, science, technology, math, by the time you get to university, you are unlikely to get that passion at university. So we got to get them early. And it is the city that can do that best is going to differentiate itself.